Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to check out the all-new 2023 BMW M3 Competition xDrive. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this family sedan for me today. Check out their website, that link is down in the description. So the M3 that you see behind me is finished off in Portimao Blue Metallic, and we'll go over the MSRP at the end of this video. So we'll go over all the exterior and interior features and then get this out on the road and see if it can justify that MSRP. So we'll start off today's review with what powers this M3. Underneath the hood is the 3-liter twin-power turbo inline 6-cylinder engine paired to the 8-speed M Sport automatic transmission. It pumps out 503 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 3,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds with a top speed of 180 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 16 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. And this also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 189.1. It has a width of 74.3 and a height of 56.5 inches. And as we move on to the exterior styling now for this M3, let's start off with the massive kidney grille right in the middle. It's finished off in gloss black, and it also houses the M3 Competition badge along with parking sensors and the forward-facing sensor, which is a part of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology. This model also has the BMW 50 years badge, so you can see those colors nicely surrounding the normal BMW badge right in the middle. And it even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals, which have a nice sleek housing to them. Now this also has cutouts or active air inlets there on each side of the bumper to provide even more aerodynamics. There's plenty of cutouts in the grills on both sides of that kidney grille, along with more lines in the lower section, even some gloss black trim pieces, just to give it a little bit different of an accent. Now the lines from the grille also extend up towards the hood, so you can see those small bulges right in the middle, just to have it flow much nicer. I think it gives it a great look for this sedan, very beefy for the front end. And for the side, this model has a staggered setup of wheels. They're 19 by 9.5 up front and 20 by 10.5 in the rear. Very nice multi-spoke pattern to them, along with the two-tone design. And with the M Sport package, this gets the red brake calipers. It also gets the adaptive suspension as well. The M3 Competition badge is just behind that front tire. With that trim piece, there's a line that leads off of it down to the lower side skirt, and as you can tell, that is also finished off in gloss black to match those corners in the front of the bumper there. This has body-colored side mirrors with the integrated turn signal and that floating style to them with the upper section not being connected. I think that is really cool. And for this competition, it gets the full carbon fiber roof. Very nice to see that. All of the window trim is blacked out as well, and there's very nice lines that run down the rest of this side just to give it a sleek look. So it's a little bit more aggressive up front and then a little bit more subtle on the sides and in the rear, where this has a small trunk mounted wing. Has a nice design to it. There's a backup camera, that 50 years badge. This even has LED taillights with a dark housing to them just to blend in nicely. All the parking sensors, as well as the quad tip active dual exhaust. More of that gloss black surrounds it, and this just has a fantastic look. Now with the exterior wrapped up, let's make our way to the cargo space. So you can use the button on the key fob or the one to the left of the backup camera, and this has a power trunk. It will automatically open up. Now for this style of vehicle, there's actually a good amount of space for this cargo area. There's a bin on the driver's side, same with over on the passenger side, and a nice flat surface to place items. Now underneath the floor, there's only battery access, so there's really no other storage space, but you can also fold down these back seats. So by pulling on these tabs on each side, that gives you a lot more interior space. There's even some tie-down hooks too. So this makes it for a very practical everyday vehicle. And then I can just push the button on the left side and the trunk will close. The button on the right side will also lock the vehicle. But let's listen to this M3 Competition now. This has remote start, so if I triple tap on that lock button, this will automatically start up. And we'll get some exhaust clips here in just a second, but if I triple tap on that button again, you can shut this off, so it's nice to have that feature. And then as we move on to the back door handles, you can actually lock and unlock it using these handles, so that's pretty cool to have. And for this M3 spec, we have the Superman theme going on, the exterior blue and the full red leather interior. So for the door panel, you'll see all of that red. There's also brushed aluminum along with the Harman Kardon sound system. This has the ambient lighting, so you'll see that strip More brushed aluminum is on that release handle and a little bit of storage. And then the full red leather along with the BMW colors on the seat belts make their way to the interior. Very nice two-tone design. Now at 5'10", I'll work my way into these back seats where I'd say it's a little bit snug, but once you're in, it is definitely pretty roomy. Right in the middle, there's 2 air vents along with the AC adjustments. So temperature, where you'd like the air to go, even some USB-Cs. Now I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs and about an inch or so above my head. Well, these are very comfortable seats. I could definitely go for a ride in the back of this M3 and be very comfortable at the same time. Now, right in the middle, you can also fold down the entire section. So if you have some longer items and you need them to go through, you can easily do that. There is no armrest or anything that folds down aside from that seat. And then as far as visibility goes, pretty open for the back of this sedan. So it's very easy to see in all directions. And then as we work our way to the driver door panel, you'll see it's finished off just like the rear. There's the addition of the memory seating adjustments, window controls, side mirror adjustments, which are power folding. There's the trunk release, a little bit more storage space, even lock and unlock. And then moving on to basically the bucket seats for the front. There's the M3 badge, all of the perforations and the lateral adjustments or lateral support. All of the automatic adjustments are down on the side. And then there is a manual adjustment for the front section of the seat. So if you need a little bit more leg comfort, you can easily do that. And it is very easy to enter these front seats. It is a low car, which is great to see. And then looking at the steering wheel, completely covered in solid black leather with all the carbon fiber accents. It's a heated steering wheel. There's the M badge. Even more of those colors are stitched within the steering wheel. Well, let's bring this M3 back to life though. With my foot on the brake, that red button is down below and we can bring this to life. And looking at this all new digital gauge cluster, it's actually pretty configurable. So currently you can see miles per hour along with the fuel gauge on the left side. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. You'll notice the navigation map right in the middle, and then you can further go through this info using these buttons over on the right side. You'll notice volume and tuning for the radio along with Bluetooth controls. If I push on the center button, it will pop up where you can look at content. And if I scroll through this, you can actually pull up some more information within that middle system. So you can look at trip information. You have a reduced screen, so basically more of a calm setting if you want to call it that. You can also look at your route preview, pull up the map like you just saw, and then your setup so you can see the different driving modes that the vehicle is currently in, along with some engine data. You can look at the TPMS, even your sport displays, so you can monitor the horsepower and the torque. There's a G meter too. You can pull up your music. And then if I scroll over, we can go to the head-up display. So I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick that up or not, but currently it's showing the speed limit sign along with miles per hour. I can pull up the compass, also look at a reduced view, so it's just that, and that is it for your head-up display. So it's pretty cool that you have the options to go through all of that information. And then coming back to the steering wheel, all of the cruise control and adaptive cruise control settings are on that left side. This even has M1 and M2. These are basically configurable buttons that I don't know if you were able to tell also change the exhaust note. So you can hold on these and you can configure everything in that center screen, which I'll show here soon. So that way you can basically have your daily driving mode and your track mode and have everything set up. And then use these carbon fiber paddle shifters, which are actually pretty big. They have a nice design right behind that steering wheel. Now over on this left side is all the headlight adjustments along with dimmer switches. In the lower section, there's a cubby where you can place any items that you need. Another strip for that interior lighting along with one air vent. And then as you can tell, this entire screen is all connected. It's right around 38 inches when you combine everything together. I think it looks very nice for this M3. It gives it a little bit more of an upscale interior, but everything flows nicely with it. Now currently the climate menu is on at the moment, so you can go through the heated and ventilated seats and all those adjustments, even the temperature. I really like how that system stays in the lower section, so it doesn't matter what you're doing on this screen, you can always get to your climate adjustments. Now right here you can see the map along with that info for your sport displays, and if I swipe over, you can go through a lot more info like your Sirius, your phone. There's a personal assistant. You can look at some of this information that I just showed on the center gauge cluster. So it's nice that you can view it in more of a full screen. Now under this icon here, we can go through further apps. You can quickly get to all this information just depending on what you're going to be using. Going into this content, you can also monitor that. And if I go back to home, we can keep swiping. You can even add some information too. So just depending on what you're going to be using, you have a lot to go through. And on this left side, this is pretty much presets, so you can quickly get to all this information, pull up your music, even your phone. And the last one was the map. So you can pull that up in more of a full screen angle to further go through all of that info. And then if we go into the drive settings, you can go into setup, and this is how you can further adjust M1 and M2. So just by pushing on these, you can currently see how M1 is set up. You have your transmission, your engine, steering, braking, even the exhaust too, so you can have that on. You can choose whether you want the engine start stop to be activated or not. So this is very cool to be able to quickly get into those modes and have everything set up and ready to go. Now just underneath that, there's more carbon fiber leading all the way to the passenger side along with brushed aluminum. Gives it a really cool look. There's 2 air vents right in the middle, and then underneath that there's a physical button for power and volume for the radio, along with tuning, the hazards, and some different recircs. And then underneath that, even more carbon fiber for this tray. If I open this up, this does have a wireless charging pad along with the BMW Active card. So you can use this in place of your key fob, which is nice to have. There's 2 cup holders, a 12 volt, even a USB, so you can charge some more electronics. Now on this right side, all of these are for that center gauge screen. So if you don't want to use it as a touchscreen system, you have shortcuts to your map and your navigation, so you can pull those up. You can go back to home, you have media and phone, along with the rotary dial to further go through that info. There's more carbon fiber surrounding all of these controls. And for this automatic transmission, in order to put this into reverse, I'll push it to the left and up. It will hold. We have the backup camera along with the guidelines and the parking sensors. Drive is going to be over to the right. Now if I push on it one more time, that goes into the sport mode. So that allows you to use these paddles. Now on the back side of the shifter, I can put this vehicle back into park. I can also adjust how quickly or how slowly I want the transmission to shift. So that can further adjust how you're going to drive this. Pretty cool to see that. This also has traction control. You can turn on and off the parking sensors along with the engine start stop feature. And there's a few different modes behind that. We have M mode. If I push on that, you can go between road and sport. Behind that is a setup button, and then we have the exhaust valve, which you can open and close. There's the auto hold along with the electronic parking brake. And for the center armrest, there's definitely plenty of room for all of that information, along with the glove box having an ample amount of space. And we'll take another look at this beautiful red leather interior. Complements the exterior blue very, very nicely. Up top, there's also a call button, and then the dome lights are on each side. Now that we're setting off behind the wheel for this M3 competition, let's talk about how much this specific model costs. So we're right over $87,000 for this family style performance-oriented sedan. And honestly, I don't think that's too out of the norm for being too expensive for a vehicle like this. There's other competitors in the segment like the CT4V Blackwing, CT5V Blackwing, different AMG models, along with Audi models too. This is a little bit higher, I would say. Now, obviously, different options and specs for all of the models and different competitors will adjust the price, of course. I would like to see this model with more carbon fiber. I know that you can get carbon fiber for the exterior. Of course, that will drive up the price a little bit more. But for the model that we're in today, 87 grand, really not all that bad considering you have well over 500, or just over 500 horsepower. You have the all-wheel drive system. We're going to pop it into the M mode now. We'll put it into sport mode. You'll see the entire gauge cluster change slightly. And we're gonna slow down to second gear. We'll give it a little, or third gear, we'll give it a little bit of gas here. And that was nothing crazy for a brand new vehicle. I've been in a ton of M3s where I know that this is a fast vehicle. This can also have a lot of potential for tuning if 500 horsepower just doesn't do it for you. You can do some modifications to this. You can also get a 6-speed manual if you're a 3 pedals kind of person. And from second gear, the paddles are so crisp, or so quick in their shifts too. I really don't think you can go wrong if you're going with the automatic or the manual transmission. Both are going to be fantastic sedans to drive. And for the money, again, I think you're getting a really, really nice kind of all-you-can-do sedan. You can drive this every single day. You can tone it down. We have the adaptive suspension, so it's going to give you a very comfortable ride. All of the materials are top-notch. It's just a nice place to be, and I could definitely see spending the money for an M3 at some point Personally, if I were to get a sedan, I think I would have to go with the M3. Man, and not doing anything crazy today. We have some wet conditions for the roads, but we have the xDrive all-wheel drive system. So in a sense, you don't have to worry too much because you're going to get all of that power and get some grip. We have the Michelin Pilot Cup Sport 2 tires as well. So I mean, you're talking about a highly performance-oriented sedan. And I just love how it handles. It's essentially a BMW sports car stretched to be a sedan. I love how BMW incorporates their performance-oriented sports cars into more than just their sports cars. So we have the sedans. Obviously, there's some of the SUVs as well, which aren't going to handle quite as well, but this might as well be in an M4. It handles very, very similar to an M4. It also, surprisingly, only weighs about 100 pounds or so more than the M4, which is a two-door coupe. Pretty cool to see that for a stretched coupe, in a sense, that you're really not sacrificing much to still retain the same performance. And a change to the POV angle as we come up to this sharp right turn. You can get another look at that gauge cluster. Down to third. And mild acceleration. This is quick. I love how fun the M3s are to drive. And real quick, just to touch on the all-new technology, this isn't the first BMW I've been in with the large screen, so I've been able to film a few vehicles with it and get some reactions from the viewers with comments not really liking the new design. Personally, I think it looks fantastic. I don't think it's out of place or too large. Let me know your thoughts. I think it works very well, a nice new update. Every time someone updates, you know, people don't like it right away, but personally, I think it looks good. I love that BMW has the tech that you need, but they don't go overboard in what you don't need. So while we have a massive screen, not quite as much technology as, let's say, Mercedes-Benz, but if you don't need 1,000 different settings, this is a good option to go with. And I like that. I don't need a million different settings, but I like the updated look for the screen. As we come down to second gear, we will start from second. And I think we need one last acceleration for today. Now it's not crazy loud. Obviously you could change that if you wanted to. But this is so comfortable, like I mentioned. I love that you can have 3 or 4 other people with you and just use this as a daily driver, something that you are going to enjoy driving from point A to point B. And then when you are ready, you can go on some back roads, hit the track with this, and still have a pretty awesome daily driver that can do it all, including some storage space as well. But I think that is going to wrap it up for this all-new 2023 BMW M3 Competition with the xDrive system. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a huge thumbs up if you did, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.